Hello and welcome to Culture Daily here on I-24 News. Thank you so much for joining us. Very happy to be back here in the studio after a week off the air as the conflict between Israel and Gaza rages on. Today's show will, of course, be dedicated to the ongoing situation in the region, but from a cultural standpoint, hopefully we'll be able to shed some light on what's going on. To help me do that, we'll begin with Gabi Tartakovsky, who's here in the studio. Hi, Gabi.
Hi.
And we're going to be, first of all, talking about one of the unintended consequences of this operation, cancellations.
Yes. Well, the Israeli tourism suffered a tremendous blow, and so did the cultural landscape of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday, jazz giant Chick Corea announced his canceling his two sold-out shows, originally scheduled to be tonight and tomorrow, along with Stanley Clarke, the legendary bass player.
So you really waited for the last minute?
Yes, they waited till the last minute, and they sent their hopes that a peaceful and safe resolution will come quickly, and they said they try their best to reschedule the set dates. America, one of the 70s soft rockers bands, announced they canceled their show. Their show was only due in August, but they
already canceled.
They already canceled.
Wow.
They took no chances. Other upcoming concerts such as Lana Del Rey and Lady Gaga, August and September respectively, are still planned as usual.
Okay, so no Chick Corea, no America. Neil Young also, unfortunately...
Neil Young cancelled, but despite having received an angry letter from Roger Waters, who didn't receive a letter from Roger Waters, but he cancelled due to the safety hazards that are potential in a situation like this, when it was supposed to be an open-air concert in Ayalkon Park, where just a month ago Rolling Stones and Justin Timberlake performed there. I was there. Unfortunately, Neil Young won't be. They also promised to reschedule, and Neil Young did a very notable thing of donating funds to Israeli and Palestinian music charities, hoping to spark some kind of dialogue.
That is wonderful. Also with the Jerusalem Film Festival, there's been a cancellation. I mean, Spike Jonze, he attended, but...
Yeah, but he remained locked up in his room, said that this was no time to discuss film. That was a very disappointing situation, because he was supposed to give a masterclass to film students. Interestingly enough, Israeli film directors, about 8 of them, staged a press conference and also said the same, that we should discuss more than just films, and
we'll be dealing with that a lot more later in the show. Also, Pearl Jam's Eddie Vedder came out and said some words. You know what? Let's watch what he said on stage a few days ago, and you'll tell us some more.
But at the same time as something like this positive is happening, at the same time, not even that far away, dropping bombs on each other. I swear to God, there's some people out there who are looking for a reason to kill. They're looking for a reason to go across borders and take over land that doesn't belong to them, and they should get the fuck out, mind their own.
So he's not naming names.
No,
but
he didn't mention Israel. He didn't mention Operation Protective Edge. But the large Israeli fan base of Pearl Jam addressed the matter as if he was directing at Israel.
All right, so I guess we won't be seeing Pearl Jam or
no
Eddie
Pearl
anytime
Jam for us.
Thank you, Gabi.
Thank you.
Back to the Jerusalem Film Festival, where, as Gabi said, a group of prominent Israeli directors whose films were screened at the festival decided to speak out about the hostilities. Let's take a look at this report by Valeria Bekassis.
Their names are Nadav Lapid, Shlomi and Ronit Alkabetz, Keren Yedaya, and Shira Geffen. In more peaceful times, their movies reflect the society in Israel, and in war times as well. In a small hall of the Jerusalem Cinematheque, the stars of the Last Cannes Festival are reading their statement, a text that in a country at war can count as a very brave act, one that could hurt their careers in their home country.
If I don't talk, it's not like I stopped doing cinema. Why do I make movies? For pleasure? For money? No, I make movies in order to tell things, and when things like this happen, we have to speak out.
Usually, when there's a war, it's forbidden to talk. But I think the opposite. When there's a war, you have to talk. We have to ask questions, to protest. Of course, my criticism comes from great pain and sadness.
On Facebook, the Ministry of Culture asked who are the true heroes, those who perform in the shelters in Israel or those who criticize the war from the safety of their homes. The alarms, the bombings, the people who died, it all shadowed the festival. The artists are also the prisoners of this endless war.
Est-ce que c'est possible qu'il n'y a pas une solution?
Is it possible that there's no solution? No, I can't believe it. It's impossible. I'm a wife, I'm a mother in Israel, and my son will join the army in a year. All of his friends will join in only a few weeks. But there must be something. What? I don't know, but as time passes, we'll see, we'll understand. We've been taken hostages by Hamas terrorists, by fascists from here and from there. It's time to get out of our bubble. What was that? We don't know.
Qu'est-ce que c'est?
With me now in the studio is Nadav Lapid, one of the directors who took part in this initiative. He's also the person behind the film The Kindergarten Teacher, which screened at Jerusalem and also at the latest Cannes Film Festival to great acclaim. Thank you so much for coming in, Nadav.
Thanks.
So earlier in the show, we mentioned also director Spike Jonze, who came to the Jerusalem Film Festival and decided not to teach his master class. I want to hear from you, what was your experience in having a film festival, attending a film festival in a time like this?
I think that, well, my experience, and I talked a little bit with other filmmakers, and it was more or less a common experience, was that maybe like 4 or 5 days before everything burst up, we were all busy with questions like, okay, which film critic is going to write what about my film, and the competition between us, and who will win this award and that award. And without sounding hypocrites, I guess we're all also a little bit busy with it right now. Suddenly there was a kind of general feeling that there's something strange in this hierarchy of priorities. And
right, a reality check.
Yeah, kind of reality check. And that's, I mean, that being a filmmaker is not only being a technician of films.
Of course. Now, the saying goes where when the cannons are heard, the muses are silent. You probably disagree.
Can you repeat the question?
Sure. The saying goes, when the cannons are heard, the muses are silent.
Yeah. I guess
you weren't very silent.
We weren't. I guess that when the cannons goes, this is the moment to talk. I mean, and especially that you feel that here in Israel, there's really this belief that the role of an artist is either to sing in shelters or to sit down in his chair and shut up. And I think this is exactly I mean, if we won't talk now, when will we talk?
Yeah. But there was quite a backlash to your action.
Yeah, I mean.
You took a risk, is what I'm saying. You took a risk coming out and saying what you feel.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really interesting and quite sad, this idea that an artist today should face this dilemma between expressing his position, his opinion, and I don't know, and suffering from all sort of commercial damage, etc., etc., etc. And you see that most of the artists they don't say anything.
Yeah. Now, my feeling, at least, and tell me if you agree, is that it wasn't the case in the past. In the past, artists said what they had to say and were listened to. Nowadays, it seems like fewer and fewer artists are willing to come out and put their opinions on the table.
I think that an artist tries to talk about existence, about life, about world, about the universe surrounding him. And this universe is also political and is also actual and relevant, and he must, in a way, refers to this. If not, it becomes kind of a hermetic machine directed only by his PR manager, etc.
Yeah. And do you think that people are listening, though?
I think that today in Israel, no one listens. No one listens, and I think I always tell, like a foreign press, that if they want to know what Israeli people think, they should specifically not interview filmmakers, writers, or intellectuals. I'm not saying that we're intellectuals, but or intellectuals.
But you know a few.
I mean, yeah. I mean that there is a kind of misunderstanding sometimes in in Europe, for example, or in the United States, of the Israeli public opinion because they give too much weight to us.
It sounds like a bit of a grim outlook. It's how do you? I don't know. Maybe you're not. Are you optimistic about the future? Doesn't sound like it.
No, I think it's a collapsing society. People, they talk a lot about this big success of Israeli, for example, cinema abroad, etc., and 5 Israeli films in Cannes Film Festival, etc., and it's really wonderful. I think that the big success of the Israeli cinema, for example, is this feeling of urge, and this urge comes from this feeling that you watch. You stand on a mountain, and in the valley you see Israeli society burnings.
Now you were, let's talk about your films for just a moment, because you do deal with the problems that you see in society in your films. And I guess that does come from a place of caring. What do you hope to achieve? Do you try to just point a spotlight at it, or do you think that something can come out of it?
I think, as a filmmaker, I mean, I have political opinions. I go to demonstration. As a filmmaker, my position is different because I can feel that I can much easily identify with opinions that I opposed as a thinker, and I'm trying mostly to express or to put on the screen my surrounding, which means Israel at this specific moment.
Yeah, I see. Nadav, thank you so much again for coming in and speaking.
Thanks a lot. Thanks.
While in this last week, nearly all of Israel has been under fire, the southern city of Sderot is already accustomed to these attacks. The city's Sapir College operates a student radio to inform, entertain, and comfort the local population. David Gombin and Adina Katriel bring us the story.
We are here in Sderot, located less than 3 kilometers away from the Gaza Strip. For students and teachers of the University of Sapir, falling rockets is nothing new. Shlomi, David, and Dana are all former students of the School of Radio, and they are radio veterans of Operation Castellet, the 2008 war between Israel and Hamas. Now they are back on campus to host a show on the student radio dial Kol HaNegev.
All those who are here today have studied and experienced Operation Castellet, and during this operation, the entire campus was closed, except for the radio. We were 15 students who stayed and did radio work almost 24 hours on 24. We have lived here for almost 2 weeks.
Today, in form of solidarity, they come and help the new students. With their experience, they contribute to the growth of the new broadcasters.
Simply enjoy the present moment, because even the pain is an experience to take, and which we must learn from.
Kol HaNegev is quite a peculiar radio station, founded in 1997 within Sapir College, and although the coverage is limited to the south, the role it plays is fundamental.
We are a local radio station, which means that we broadcast to the people of the region on the 106.4 FM dial. Our role is to bring people together, but also to entertain and to pass on information.
The new generation is obviously happy to host and provide this non-profit service, while also using the opportunity to gain some experience from older and more experienced broadcasters, like Ishai Porat, who is in his final year as a student.
At the moment, I'm still a student, but in 2 weeks I will be out finding work. I want to know what tools they can give me and which I can use to find employment in the market. This is what I can learn here.
Whatever the developments are, the goal is clear. Silence could not fall on the student radio.
We are a radio station, and in radio we have everything that we need not to shut down. What we see in every war operation is that students do not want to leave the station. More than that, they feel a sense of calm here and a belonging to this place.
Inform, comfort, and entertain. Kol HaNegev, the voice of the Negev, remains faithfully to his mission, and this little family hopes to continue to serve the local community by radiating positive vibes.
This concludes this edition of Culture. Thank you so much for joining me. Next week, we'll be back with a whole new edition. Until then, you can find our past shows on our website, i24news.tv. And of course, check in every hour for a news bulletin to see the latest. We'll be back. Bye-bye.